Blog 229. Welcome, my friends, to the new Renaissance in the year 2015. Some 6,000 years have passed since the ancient Egyptians built the pyramids. It took mathematical ingenuity and a mighty workforce and great designers. The pharaohs were determined to reach to the heavens, for there must be an understanding to life everlasting within the cosmos for man, plants, and animals. Modern science today in astronomy is bringing the heavens closer to us. But there are forces within us disturbing the process. The pyramids were vandalized then. Our future lies in the balance now. What say you, Shylock, the empirical one? And what say you, Spinoza, the fundamental one? Shylock says to me, "Return my javelin, and there will always be stars shining." Spinoza says, "We have come to a crisis point, Alan." Spinoza continues, "The big nations with atom bombs and distress between peoples of the world. And the little nations with smaller flotilla, unable to resolve their differences." Spinoza, the monist and fundamentalist, asks me to sort things out. I say to Spinoza, "Thank you. You died early, but you are with us today. Your masterly projections through monism unite atoms, molecules, neutrinos, and quarks, man, plants, and animals, light and gravity, formations and dimensions. Pulse rate movement will be our aim. Everlasting peace between the United Nations will mean eternal life for man, plants, and animals." I continue. My friends, my driving force comes from my welfare officers in every country of the world. My welfare officers are the psychiatrist psychologist, social worker, and anthropologist. My friends, let us take the subject of anthropology. Hominid types have been found all over Africa. They stretched over millions of years, and I would presume there might have been about 1,000 related species that came and went at different intervals. They combined, mutated, they became extinct, but not before producing Lucy. They fought over high ground and low ground, interbred and intrigued, collaborated and buried their dead with the thought of life in the heavens. They went with their trinkets and favourite magical charms, or favourite killing instrument. Through weather, war, and survival, Lucy came forth. She is represented here with a double head. Suggesting so many different types of hominid within his or her genetical makeup. My friends, I am so fond of Lucy and Carmel that I can't help some repetition in my blogs. They are not part of us, but they are us in total. My friends, outside of Africa, Neanderthalis or Carmel spread over the continent. Hardly any competition and lack of hunting skills. She lived in caves and grew corn and painted animals on the walls of their caves. Lucy and Carmel met up, and the rest is history. Any single Neanderthalis was wiped out in the Ice Age. I show here Carmel dressed as a clown, but of good nature, playing music from a horn and holding the ears of corn. I say to Spinoza, can you take over, please? Spinoza thanks me and continues. Spinoza says to the 8.5 billion supreme beings, Shylock brings trade and commerce and invention. Not exactly his iridium-tipped javelin and coloured glass, which is rather whimsical, but guides us to the ziggurat at Ur. Spinoza continues, a missile fired in the Middle East today has no identity, and the target could be anywhere. Spinoza continues, by mistake or intent, the result is the same. Total war. Lucy and Carmel come in all shapes and sizes. Or the rose. We can just as well turn the war arena into a holy temple of loving peace. It doesn't matter at what stage we are with war, machinery, and the killing. At the drop of a hat, our dear Neanderthalis can remove his and say, look, boys, is not far away. Let's live and dance together and have fun on the day of rest, working on the peace trains and travelling to Ur. My friends, the city of Ur shall be built for peace, and the ziggurat will outshine any of the Vulcan bombers. The ziggurat is for peace. The Vulcan bombers are for the end of our species, plants and animals. My friends, I often wonder why Napoleon marched all those miles to Moscow with an enormous army, only to be turned back by an empty city and freezing temperatures. My friends, he wanted to accomplish greatness, but failure and death met them. My friends, we have adventure before us with the United Nations and whistle and flag to the ziggurat and pulse rate movement to all 60 dimensions. My friends, I say to Israel and Iran, at the drop of the hat, cast aside enmity, the whole world will love you and bless you. A peace movement without an end, begun at the drop of the hat, from Neanderthalis, living within the many-headed Lucy. My friends, long lost brothers, sons of Abraham, named Isaac and Ishmael. This journey today of the ingathering of the exiles has been predicted. But this time, Isaac returns, and Ishmael is there to greet him with a firm handshake. For the sake of our holy temple, mankind, plants and animals, for the sake of the 60 dimensions and the living Jehovah, let there be peace between Israel and Iran. Start the peace trains rolling, and the whole world will rejoice. Isaac and Ishmael are united, as will be Israel and Iran.